January to December?
Yes, in this graph, it
In
was,
these
it
graphs,
was the
okay.
whatever sold during that calendar year, yes.
So actually 18 isn't far behind the other ones when we got 3 months of the year.
Right, when you
left.
consider that it's not there, I mean, who
Could-
knows what'll
Could
happen.
almost have the sales of that year.
Yep.
Of 17.
It looks like the average price won't be there, but again, that was because, you know, I can think right off the top of my head of at least 4 properties that sold that were in the, you know, mid 300s, which just
Right.
is not that typical for us.
Right.
I mean, there's properties out there, I mean, we had one that was over 600. You know.
Yeah.
So are all those dots treated the same? In other words, let's say 1-bedroom house compared to a 5-bedroom house or something that's very elaborate?
When it's appraised, it would be treated differently, but in
On the
this
graph.
analysis, no. It's
Right.
because in theory, it's in both figures already. In other words, the person who bought it looked at those features, and in theory, the assessor looked at those features, so it's in both of the numbers that we're using in the analysis.
So it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the problem with the higher priced properties, is you don't have that many eyes.
You have that-
You know, we got a $600,000 sale, you don't have that many people looking at it.
Right.
Right.
Which means, you know, you don't have other ones to compare it to, and I don't have people to talk to. I like to talk to, you know, and I do end up, because, you know, they're new taxpayers and they call me, but it's nice to find out what that person, you know, what was it about that property, and what other properties did you look at, and why did you decide on this one than the other ones, you know, that sort of thing. It helps me in some sort of subjective way.
Okay. So, I thank you very much, Tim, for
Thank you.
doing the presentation. So now I guess we can go on to Mark.
Yeah, we'll start out with the small stuff, just so everybody knows. We had talked a couple months ago about Asplin coming in and taking some of those trees, Jim Carey's and some of those
Yep.
cemetery. They're coming tomorrow for
Oh,
what's
good.
gotta be done. Jamie got it lined up for that to happen.
I had a call from,
We
she
did
left a
too.
message, okay, good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
told her. Harass you?
Yeah, it's do what we can do
Yep.
there. I mean, that might get put off a little bit, you know, especially as wet as it is. I don't really need to be punching holes in graves. So anyways, just right now, you know, we're hauling sand, you know, trying to do rainy day stuff, which I guess we're all getting used to. If you see some activities, like on the weekends and stuff here lately, that's us dealing with beavers. We get them out of one place, we're into another place. We had a problem this weekend again, so that's what's going on. It's not like we're trying to do a lot of overtime, but
That happened up on East Hanson Brook
East
Road.
Hanson Brook. Monday it was
Friday.
fine, and Friday it was not. It was going over the road pretty good, so. Went up there, hopefully, we limited some problems.
Right.
We haven't cured them.
Yep.
So then, tonight you'll see some pictures went around of a brush tractor. So, on the internet, Jamie and I went and looked at it today. Very, very nice, well kept, I mean, high maintenance. Guys do a real nice job on it. We did some appraisals the same way the John Deere guys do, all of them do. We went to all the brochures and magazines and stuff and come up with some figures on that. The one figure you'll see was the minimum they're gonna take, and the other one is where, by doing what that would cost, $175,000 brand new without 2 of those mowers would be news. We did some figuring, we talked to the John Deere people about what that tractor is worth right now. It's worth probably in the high 30, you know, around 35 to 40,000 is what they told us. And then to buy that equipment, 75,000 bucks right off. on there, so that's,
Now, is that original equipment on it, so it's got,
no, it's 2013.
oh, okay,
The one, the back mower was, that was on there new, right? Yep, 2003. The boom and the side mower, that was all done in 2013. And since then, the John Deere, they just put a new pump in it this year. The-
Hydraulic pump.
Yep, hydraulic pump, new seat. But the boom and all of that stuff, there was no cracks, no nothing.
Right.
I mean, it's very nice.
I see also that it's more of a flail than it is a
Yep,
bush hog
yeah,
mower. I mean, it's a change from what you
it's a
use.
change, but it's one thing that I've said for a long time. I think
Yeah.
flail would be a better setup for us. I mean, I think down the line a brush head would be nice, you know, for doing some of the higher stuff. But like that, for like doing the banks and stuff like flail works a lot better. I know we've got the disc mower and that works good for what you guys do, you know, it's cutting it off at the bottom, you guys are gonna field it, you know, or bring it in, but
Right,
when you go back to do the second time, mulching it up, you can't. It just balls up and that type of thing. That's why you see the state come out the second time with a flail and they'll put the stuff down and they mulch it down pretty good, so.
right.
We watched him today, what he was doing a little bit with it. The guy that's run that's run it for 5 straight years. You know, he did a nice job with a flail, with a boom up, so. You know, as long as you can stay in smaller stuff, you know, it will take off 4-inch stuff, but I'm not looking to do that. You know, we've got everything. We've got things back pretty good. When you get the bigger stuff, you got a chainsaw. That's all there is to it.
This is a unit that we rented one for a month this spring, right? And
Yeah.
that was, what, 60-some, 5,500, 6,500
Do
for the
you
month?
remember what it was, rental, Jamie?
Five something, I think.
It was up there pretty good.
Right, for a month, yeah.
This, the one nice thing about this is what I'm doing roadside mowing in 2 passes. This, lots of times we'll do it in one because you got one right behind you. So you can step off the shoulder, beyond the shoulder, mowing that, and then the other one can taper the banks and stuff with the side mower. And stuff, not that it's always gonna save, but.
How hard is it to interchange the two?
It takes a little time. They said today, they got it set up where they understand, they welded on some hooks and stuff so they could actually pick it right. When they're doing it, they were doing it with a forklift. Of course, we could do it with either the loader or the backhoe with the forks on it and stuff.
The only thing I can, get that size tractor off on the shoulder too far, and,
Yeah, and the guy said today, he said he usually doesn't,
right,
you know, get off, you know, like some of the places that I get off, I have to get off because of the way the mower's set up, you know, but like with this. And then coming back, having the ability to do some of that stuff with the boom, you know, come back,
Right,
shape
go
the
further
ditches,
off.
back, keep that on the road and you got a 20-foot reach on that thing, so.
Is there screens or anything to go on there when you're using
Said
the
he's never
boom?
taken a window out of that thing.
Really?
With the, that's one advantage to the flail. Everything is down, the opening is bad.
Yeah, John Deere puts better gas than everybody else.
Yeah, it's got bulletproof windows in it.
Doesn't? No.
well, they probably don't use that boom near as much as what you do.
What'd you say, put it on, what, this last month, and then it goes right through, pretty much through the winter with it, and then,
Right.
they put the other ones back on for a while to, spring and fall, it's got the boom on it, and most of the summer, it's got the mowing stuff on it. And they've got same amount of road, a little less, actually, they had 100 miles, or a little more, but they're just looking to upgrade.
Right, now how big a side mower is that, 7 foot, 6 foot?
It's
I don't know what the
about
big,
6, it's pretty close to what we got,
right, that's mid mount, right?
yes.
I know
And that will be a hell of an improvement.
Well, it'd be a tremendous improvement, boy, that's a lot of weight hanging out there too.
We asked them about, you know, like the wheels, if they were loosening up or anything, and they didn't. But,
Yeah, it's gotta be counterweighted tremendously.
yeah, the box on there for, on the left-hand side is, one thing I do like, I like the idea of the four-wheel drive. You can hopefully not have to be in the ditch, but if you already got a chance getting out.
Okay. Any more questions for Mark? And this is up, the auction is
Tomorrow night,
tomorrow night.
6.
Thursday night.
Or Thursday night, excuse me, Thursday night, 6 o'clock.
Any questions for Mark? No. How we go about this, Mark, doing what?
Well, basically, we'll call Mark tomorrow, the guy from Auctions International. We've got an account, and, you know, we'll get it set up, passworded, and then we can go on and bid on it in increments. It's down pretty low right now. I mean, it's at 20.
Just started, right?
Yeah. It's at 20.
Yeah.
And, gotta just put $100 increments in. We were just gonna watch it tomorrow and see what happens, and if it goes wild, then,
Thursday at 5 o'clock, it's gonna start going crazy.
yep.
Okay, any questions for Mark on what or when and how? Our John Deere man's gotta look at.
Well, I got him surrounded me.
There's a lot of red over on this side, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm turning, yeah.
The guy that run that all the time, I mean, that's what he used to do for the county, and now he's working for the town. Jamie asked him about that transmission. He liked it, but you guys are guys that run
Yeah,
them all the
that's the
time.
more durable, it's
Is
the
it?
Power Quad. Yeah, it's more durable than, the Synchro is very nice, but for what you'll be doing, you'll like this
Yeah.
way better. Does it have, a forward or reverser on it?
No.
No,
No, that's one thing that we're looking.
won't really need it because you can clutch and shift it, drop it right in, right there.
Yeah.
But that is nice, I mean, it just, somebody standing over there, just,
Yeah.
you know, just like your payloader, you know.
Right,
Backhoe payloader. Yep.
but that one's more durable, you think, heavier.
This is a more durable transmission as far as it take more abuse than what, like the power, the Synchro will, and it takes less horsepower. Not that that'll be a big issue for that tractor with what you're doing. But- And the 20 series is before the tier 4 admissions. Tier 4 admissions hit the 30 series, and we all know what tier 4 means, you know, it's
Yeah.
more headaches, you know,
A lot of tears,
yeah.
they're a pain.
Yep.
That's what, you know, that's why we go after some of these trucks the way we do.
Yeah.
Tier 4 is bad enough that the state of New York figured out that they couldn't keep up with it, so that's why it's off on contracts. Because if you were doing contracts on bridges and everything, they had to have all of your equipment under Tier 4. Well, New York State wasn't even under Tier 4, so they had to walk away from it.
Oh.
It's so expensive. Expensive, and there is no savings at all, none.
Okay, is there anything else, Mark?
No, other than we're gonna file for every cent we got for chips, and we'll be in good shape.
Okay. Okay. Planning board, we have a meeting Thursday night, there's a public hearing on the dog food processor in Treadwell. They're supposed to have a public meeting on that, on a special use permit. Last month that they came to set up the public hearing. on last month's meeting. And that's about it, I guess, on planning. And now I guess we'll go to the highlight of the evening, and that's Paul with the proposed budget.
Fun stuff.
That fun stuff, right?
Jeff and I got together and worked on this